original context before we go on to, because like, now applying it to our life now. And it's okay if you don't. Okay. So there are different ways Christians can stand out, and again, I'll use, the smoker on the ship. He stood out in not a good way, and he was doing nothing good for miles and miles. And we as Christians here at Living Hope, or you both here and at your church, Aaron, and when you have that, we can stand out in a similar way. We can stand out in a way that will destroy our witness within the community. So if we don't act like this, we'll be known as the church of where people sit there and don't act like Jesus. And like if you have one person, because I've heard of a story. What is it? MacArthur used a story of a guy at their. They invited this guy to his church. He goes, "No, this certain lawyer goes to your church. I would never go anywhere where this guy went, because the way the guy acted in life." And now if we have a church of people acting like that, would anybody want to come here? No. And so we could destroy our ability for witnessing. On the flip side, though, we can do the other way and make our church stand out for miles and miles. We did the corn maze as an example. I mean, that really stood out. I mean, and we're actually, though we're in a house now, we're actually known in multiple counties surrounding us, which I think is actually really cool. And since we have this, what made us stand out at the corn maze?
I think one of the main things is because we made it totally free to everybody, and I don't know how many people knew anything about us before that, but by doing this here, by us not charging anything, making everything free, and actually going out and promoting it, helps quite a bit too. We just didn't sit up here and we stepped out on faith big time, but we also did something to bring the people in. Yes. We stepped out on faith there too, not knowing what this was, this being our first time, we had no idea how this was going to turn out.
Yeah.
And it turned out immensely more successful than we thought it would. And I think, since we've been a church, I think we promoted more of Christ's love at this corn maze than we did in the last 2.5 years.
I actually completely agree. So now once we had them at the corn maze, because I can think of a lot of individuals where people have commented on what they liked, that in reality those comments were really about what they liked about, not completely about the corn maze, but what they liked about us. So basically that was how we're being salt and light in this world.
And I think that tract that Pastor put out and Judy put out, that we handed out to everybody, explaining who we were, was very helpful also.
Yeah. I like where you said the free thing. For instance, we'll use that lady who came up the bill, who was crying, that she was like a single mom who just couldn't afford to take her kids anywhere. We showed generosity. That was a way that our generosity, because we could have charged easily for this, and yet because we showed generosity, and that's it's one of the things that Christ has called us to do. That is a trait there. What's another comment? What's the comment when we were at first, and now we have here, and I heard it at the corn maze. What was the big comment that you would hear about this group of people?
Love and friendliness?
Yes. Right there. We would sit there, we would always be showing love, a loving friendliness. And people can tell when it's fake. And with this group here, people also can tell that it's real. And that is one, those are two really good solid examples there of how we have acted as a city on a hill. I mean, because those things there are going to shine out for a long period of time. And since we're doing the corn maze multiple years, it'll allow it to keep building, actually. Because again, doing things one time, one-shot time is not going to stand out as much as a continued presence over time.
I think we had because we put in the paper too how much we collected, and for the Samaritan's Purse, the people who gave knew we didn't rip them off, and so there was integrity here too.
Yes, that's actually a really good point there. We won't probably hear about that one as much because we don't have the people directly commenting to it, but the fact that we announced that it got there, so that would right there would show integrity also.
I mean, we had it down to the penny, and I did have someone say to me out in the world, my gosh, you even had the 9 cents, so we know you didn't take off with any of the money.
Really?
Yeah.
That's a really cool comment.
Right to the
there.
penny, yeah.
You know, the nice thing about it too is, the Lord blessed us too, and we just asked for donations, and we had an opportunity to give to Samaritans First and for the flood victims.
Yeah.
So, you know, it went full circle.
Yes, it did. No, you hadn't told me that one. That one right there is interesting. So if we have that again, make sure down to the penny. What else, Joanna?
We also had a chance to evangelize out there.
Mm-hmm.
I talked to a woman too, and she went to church when she was a kid and everything, and she thought that was so great that we had this for her, and that it was free, and gave her a card and tract and.
So you hadn't told me. That's one I haven't heard right there. That.
But
Or you said you got a chance. Like I thought you think
there's
you end up
other
hearing all the
people that
stories.
had chances too that I heard.
That's
to
awesome.
people, so.
It's just making me more excited.
And
for
that
next
was
year.
that was a point too, to evangelize out
Yes.
there.
And next year I think we're gonna have to try to capitalize more on that.
And there's probably quite a few people that we did touch out there that we just didn't hear about either.
No, you're very, very true. And I'm only right now using the ones that we did hear about as a way to reinforce us, to help encourage us to go and continue to act that way. So I know that because I didn't hear a single bad thing about it. So the likelihood is we did make a mark, at least a little mark, on every individual that came.
Just ignite the flame just a little bit.
Yes.
Just a spark.
Let's keep throwing gas, and then now let's start working to slowly throw some gas on the fire.
You know, there is another aspect too that we never thought of, that other people put on their phones, Facebook and all that, and that reached more people.
That actually is a conversation that won't fit into this study that I've been very much thinking about. We need to come up with both a website and also we need to come up with a very good social media strategy, because that would be very effective. But that doesn't quite apply here right now. But no, you are very right there. You are spot on.
I mean, we didn't do anything. We didn't even think about it. But other people are texting friends and then Facebook, and it just went all over.
Yeah, you're completely right. And that is something definitely that we can work on and to improve.
Yeah.
I'm gonna look into resources on that, so I can learn, and then also pass them off so other people can learn, so we can know how to do that. We'll need to talk about that some more too. But I digress. Let's get us back on track.
Just put more irons in the fire for you.
hey, I'm good at that. So, anyways,